Hello everybody, RinniePie here, and I'm gonna have to recap Freedom Wars. And one of the reasons is that when I first made the first impressions videos, I was on Zertex, so I was not 100%. And when I rewatched that video, it wasn't that bad, but at the same time, I didn't talk about much. I didn't talk about a lot of things I really want to talk about. So, without further ado, let's begin. Now, one of the things I forgot to talk about was clothing, character customization. Now, character customization for this game is, I'm not sure whether or not I have been overly pampered by God Eater 2, because God Eater 2 has so many different choices in clothing that it just feels lacking in this game. You can change the colors of different parts of your clothing, but you only have a few selections of the clothing. You don't have that much selections for hair. I guess it's enough, but for me, God Eater had like a lot of hair, and the accessories like headsets, helmets, not enough. Just absolutely not enough. I'm not sure whether or not there's DLCs for it, because I'm playing on the Chinese, Korean, Hong Kong edition, in which they don't, the PlayStation Corporation here does not work with gaming press in these countries to make special DLC stuff. So unless it's a DLC specifically for the game, we're probably not going to get anything involving Famicom or any other stuff other than that, which is why I really wanted to buy the Japanese version. But once the Chinese version comes out, they almost never ship the Japanese version. So that's kind of annoying. So, it just feels really lacking. No matter what you do, everything comes out as random Japanese girl, random anime boy, So, that's my main gripe with character design. Sure, you can change your height, you can change how big your boobs are, but the amount of clothing is just disappointing. It's very disappointing for me. Next, we're gonna start talking about the weapons crafting system. It feels slow. That's all I can say. It's time gated. Everything you do in the crafting system is slowed down because of the time it takes. If you want to upgrade your particular weapon, if you want to add a ability to your weapon, it takes 10 plus minutes to do it. And sure, you can use civilians that you've acquired throughout playing the game to decrease that time, but in the end, it just feels like this particular system is there to slow down the progress of the players. And, I don't like that. I really do not like this system. This system, especially getting the skills on the weapons, is really randomized. I know there is an algorithm. I am not going to go online and go check for a freaking algorithm to increase the power of my weapon. I'm a too casual of a gamer for this. I'm a casual gamer. I'm not that hardcore. I don't like to go into a game, I'm gonna be the best at this game and everything, and I'm not gonna waste time reading a tutorial, looking through things to make my weapon like 3 times stronger. I want to get it slowly. I want to, when it comes, it comes. And unfortunately, it's really slow. I've constantly refreshed the effects of my weapon, and sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's until I just completely give up. At this point, I only have 2 to 3 weapons that is actually usable. The other ones are just there to be used as upgrade tools. So, it just feels very, very slow. Which brings us to combat. God. Okay, so the combat wasn't all that bad, in the beginning, but the flaws in how slow the reaction time for some of the weapons, like heavy, the spear, and the sword. The short sword is fast, okay? But at the same time, many of the moves that you make with the melee weapons involves you finishing the entire combos before you can dodge or do anything else. And when you're about to get hit and you want to dodge, and it feels like there's a specific point when you can dodge in that mid combo, it usually leads to you getting killed. And this is why in this video I will only be using guns, and mainly because I don't have a weapon that is upgraded enough for melee. I'm working on a short sword basically right now because I do like the melting. And speaking of the melting system, I guess, can only be done by two things. One is a short sword, the other is an item that you get around mid game. You can buy it at the shop for around 1,000 points, or you can pick it up on the ground in one of the stages, which is what I did. And it's something that works the same way. You grab onto your enemy using the thorn, and you melt your enemy's particular weak points. Now, the thorn, there are 3 thorns: offensive, defensive, healing. In this video, you probably won't see me do a lot because being a projectile, I don't have lock-on system. I don't have lock-on. So usually when you have lock-on, it's a lot easier to throw your thorn around to grab onto your enemies. I'm not going to do that. But offensive thorn, when it has a second charge that stuns the enemy, that stun is probably the most OP thing I've seen in this game. It locks down the abductor fairly well, and if the abductor has a shield, and meaning they are immune to projectiles, you can use that to lock them down for that particular second, and you can just wail on them with your ranged weapon. Hopefully it will knock out that shield, and usually it does. Now, the defensive thorn, i.e. the silver one, probably the most useless thing. I know it's probably good for against grunts, because the second charge for that thing, the first charge increases your party's defense, which is okay, I guess, but not really all that powerful. The second charge for that thing raises a shield, a very, very freaking small shield that nullifies projectile weapons. Not all that reliable. I mean, this game, you move around a lot, so you're not gonna hide behind a shield all the time. So I don't use it all that much. The third one is healing. The first charge heals one particular person. The second charge, you raise up, I don't even know what that thing is. It's like a thorn tree, and it heals the entire party around it. And it's fairly powerful, but I'd rather have an NPC use it. And in this clip, when you see something pop out from the ground, that looks like green, and that's what it does. Now, guys, this game's clunky controls and all that stuff. It's all mechanical stuff, so it can be changed. I hopefully when it gets localized, it will be fixed. But you never know. At this point, one thing occurred that forces me to really have to make this particular video, and it came at around code 6 and 7. Why? Because there was a difficulty curve. And it's not just a normal difficulty curve. They increased the difficulty of the game by 3. It became 3 times harder for me to finish a stage. And my God, was it bad? I mean, and that is another thing I really need to address. And I think I have a slight feeling it has something to do with the NPC controls. You know, in these type of games, NPC is very, very important because they are your partners. They heal you, they save you when they save a run if things go bad. In this game, your partners feel really, really unpredictable. Really unpredictable. As you can see, I just lost right there, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off so badly because I never lose this one. But if the NPCs feels extremely unpredictable because they are extremely offensive. They're very offensive based. They can get a lot of kills, but at the same time, they have really bad sense of who should be the target. And there's a difficulty curve that came out around stage 6, around 6 and 7 code, and that's when your enemies, the grunts, smallest grunts that you're going to be seeing really soon, they can melt your HP in a matter of seconds. It doesn't matter if you use dodging. If you dodge, they can get you in seconds. They are, they have very, very high accuracy, and another thing that they do is they dodge like crazy. They are nearly impossible to catch, and I guess in a way their AI is very, very smart, but at the same time it feels like they're extremely dumb because I have a feeling it's the same type of AI that's being used by the partners. These partners, when it comes to killing the enemies, it's really good. When they choose to, but when they decide, oh, there's the abductors right there, I have to focus on the abductor, and then they get wiped by a lone grunt. That one lone grunt that they choose not to focus on destroys the entire team of 6. So the priority of the NPCs needs to, especially when it comes to the partner, I think it needs to be balanced. It's one of the biggest flaw and problem that I have encountered in this game. One of the things I praised about Tokiden, not the new one, was the AI was extremely smart. They probably one of the best AIs. God Eater 2 has almost the best, almost as good. Actually, to be honest, it actually is as good. Soul Sacrifice Delta and Soul Sacrifice, they have really good one. I don't know what happened here. It just feels like a step backward. The NPCs, they feel powerful, but at the same time, they are extremely inept at what they do. And in a lot of cases, it feels like I'm babysitting my own teammate. So I'm guessing the clip is about to end right here, and so that last scene was to show how annoying some of these enemies are, especially if you stop moving. There's a high chance you're gonna get killed. So what do I think about this game? It's a meh for me. I mean, I really can't say it's bad because it's playable, and but there are so many better games of this genre on the PS Vita. In fact, recently I've noticed on the PSN there is Monster Hunter G or something. I need to check later, but from what I've heard, it's a monthly payment based. So I'm kind of scared to download it right now. So so apparently Monster Hunter released on the PlayStation Vita. So you have the original game now. So, but what else? It's a meh for me. Soul Sacrifice Delta still top of the list, still freaking top of the list. Tokiden coming up around 2 to 3. God Eater 2 to 3. Those two are almost as good as each other. Anything else? Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. I'm not even gonna bother ranking that because that one feels so phoned in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ragnarok Odyssey Ace fan. I know there's fans of that game here, but at the same time, the amount of effort put into that game just doesn't really warrant me saying how good that game is. So I'm sorry, but I'm guessing that's all I can say about this game. I guess you can buy it, but only if you really, really like this type of genre, or you look at my gameplay video and think, oh, that might actually be playable. That might actually be pretty good. But keep in mind, be sure to it's going to waste a lot of time. And what are games other than a waste of time? So it does its job fairly well, but at the same time, you're gonna feel frustration. You're gonna want to kill yourself at some point until you get better weapons. And that's my only tip to you guys. So I guess I'm gonna end this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching and watching through all of around 15-16 minutes of this, and listen to me rant. I know I tried writing a script, but it's not really a script. It was actually a bunch of bullet lines of things I need to cover, and I feel like I was umming a lot. I feel like what was that guy on Jurassic Park? Jesus Christ, I don't even remember his name. Okay, whatever. But thanks for you guys. If you have any comments, any questions involving this game, if you feel like I said something wrong, please leave a comment. I will, let's start a discussion about let's start a discussion about this game, So I'll see you all a little later, and hopefully I will be able to get enough money by next week to get the some new games. I'm sorry. I'm actually overworked. At the same time, I'm not really all that funded right now. So I'm actually trying to save a little bit of money because I've been buying way too many recording stuff. So I guess that's another reason why some of my videos have been going on a little slower. So I'm sorry, guys, but thanks for keeping up with me, and I'll see you all a little later, and bye bye.